This may be the best thing since sliced bread. I'm Ingrid Carlsen, and I am so happy that you are here with me today. We are going to be making some age tape, and guess what? It is not using any alcohol ink. As I start prepping my workspace, I want to invite you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And if you find this video informative, entertaining, then please like it, share it, tell your friends about it, and all the good stuff. I'm going to be protecting my work surface by laying down some wax paper, and I want to make sure that the paper is overlapping and adhered down with some tape so that any liquid isn't going to go straight on my desk. The first supply that you're going to need is some rubbing alcohol, and I'm using this one from Dollar Tree, and I believe it's 70 proof. The next thing that I'm going to be using is one of the Dollar Tree droppers, and I believe these usually come in a 2-pack. And I feel like I need a drum roll or something for the next product, but we are going to be using some markers, but not just any markers. You want to make sure that they are permanent markers. So something like a Sharpie would work great, but I'm using the ones from Dollar Tree so that this tutorial is 100% Dollar Tree friendly. Because I want my tape to look aged and worn and weathered and yummy, I'm going to start off as my base. I'm going to use a yellow, and then I'm going to add some of the brown. This is definitely the fun part because you get to mix whatever colors you want. I'm going to grab some of these jewelry, I don't know, tweezers, and I'm going to start pulling out the top part of the marker. That is going to have the barrel inside of it that contains all of the color. And this part was a little hard. I left it in the video so you could see that I did struggle with it. It wasn't like it just popped right off. What you want to do is you're going to bend it down. So you want to go slowly because you don't want it to pop out at you because this is permanent ink. So you're going to fold down, start with like a 45-degree angle, trying to get at close to a 90-degree angle. And then don't keep going. You just want to loosen it, and then you'll be able to shimmy it right out. Several years ago, I had seen a tutorial from Al John, I believe that's the name of the YouTube channel, where she dissected some permanent markers and then made them into alcohol ink. And I was trying to think of ways that we could make some tape, because I've heard that a lot of you don't have access to alcohol inks. And I thought, what if we take that method and then take it up a notch, create our own colors? And so that's exactly what we're doing. We're going to start by taking the inside of the marker and cutting it in half so that it'll fit in our container better. And then I'm just taking a switchblade, X-Acto knife, any kind of sharp knife, and I'm cutting the outer layer of it so that it opens up to the color. And since this is an experiment, I'm going to show you step by step how I did it. I'm going to come back like with every 5 minutes and show you the colors that we get. I'll come back the next day and show you what the result is, and then we will make a project at the end. I'm going to start off by adding 1 full stick of the yellow and then about a quarter of the brown. In between each color, you're going to want to wipe down your cutting tools with some alcohol to make sure that it doesn't stain your tools or contaminate the other colors. And you're already seeing that beautiful color start to appear. It's very amber looking, and the longer that the brown sits in the container, the darker it's going to start getting. This is the color about 2.5 hours later, although I removed the brown color about 5 minutes in. It started to get dark, and so I pulled it. I figured I can always add it back in if I need to, but I kind of feel like this might be the color. And so I'm going to allow this still to sit overnight, and then we will visit it tomorrow and see if we need to do any changes to it. Just kidding. We're going to test it out right now. So the color is nice, but I think it's a little on the yellow side. So I'm going to go ahead and add the brown back in for maybe another 5-10 minutes and then check it. I went ahead and let the mixture sit overnight because when I was testing it, it was, and you can see here how yellow it is, and a little drop of it with the actual like brown piece, I left it in there, it hit and I was like, oh, that's kind of more the color. So I wanted to go ahead and leave it. So we're going to test it now. Oops. And that's almost the perfect shade. I almost think that a little more brown can get added to it, but I'm a little worried that it's going to get too dark because it's pretty overpowering. So I think maybe I'll snip off another piece of it and add it. And I apologize for the background noise. Barkley is up here with me and he's got a bone. He's very happy with it. I'm just going to break off about that much. Probably leaving it where I would have used 1 stick of the yellow and then half a stick of the brown. I'm going to go ahead and just clean my stuff off real quick. Oops, I almost forgot to cut it and open it up. And the reason we're cutting it is because oops. If you can see, it's got a plastic around it and all the ink is on the inside. So we're going to cut this so it opens up and it's almost like a felt-like material inside. And then all of the color will be able to seep into our mixture. And you can see it there, how it opened up. So now we're just gonna stick him in there. And I don't know how long this will last in here, but I figured I would give it a try. Here is the piece that we just colored, and it is pretty dry. It's got a little bit of a tack on it, whereas I think that alcohol ink more by this point is completely dry. I'm going to go ahead and allow this to sit, and you can see the color darkening. I'm going to allow this to sit for about 5 minutes. We'll come back and check the results. We're at the 5-minute mark, and that color is, I think, perfection. So I'm trying to decide whether I should remove it or allow it. I think it could still be a little darker, so I think I'm going to leave it in for a little longer. This was the one that we just made before that, and I just peeled it off of there, and this is this one. Now, one thing that I'll note is that you can see here the tape that we just dyed. I don't know if the camera is picking it up. It's definitely wrinkled. It also has more like striations on it. You can see right there. And I feel like the alcohol, like real alcohol ink, doesn't do that. But I still think that you're getting a really amazing design or outcome using this that, you know, if you didn't have access to alcohol inks, now you do. The other thing that I'm using wax paper. I'll sometimes use wax paper, but I usually use freezer paper for my tape. It comes off a lot easier, and so that could be part of some of the pulling. I always say that wrong. And so just that little disclaimer, but we will be back. I think I'm going to let it sit for a little bit, and then we will be back. Okay, it's been about 10 or so minutes. You can kind of start seeing the color. I also grabbed my freezer paper, and about 5 minutes ago, I tried these two out. These are ones using alcohol ink, so you can see we're pretty close. I decided to leave the brown in there because this has a little bit more brown in it. I also wanted to show you that the alcohol ink can also leave marks and striations. You can see it right here. That's probably, it was rubbed off with a like makeup sponge. So I'm gonna go ahead and try it out, and then also let you know that you're going to want to let this sit. I'm actually gonna do 2 so you can see it better. You're going to want to let it sit and dry. And also, I think you want to use less product than you think. So like that might be enough. Let me grab my little blower tool. And where you want it to stay concentrated, it's going to be a darker color. And obviously wherever it pulls, it's going to need a little longer to dry. So you can see already the color is darker, and I love this effect. So I'm going to go ahead and make some up on the freezer paper, allow it to dry, and we will be back with a little project. these are my results once the tape was completely dried, and you can see how yummy the texture is. It started gathering in certain areas because I left it pretty wet, and so if you don't want to do that, you could always take a makeup sponge or something else and kind of dab it so that you get more of an even coverage. But I think both of them look really great, and I'm going to use both this. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, the tape on the bottom is medical tape from Dollar Tree, and that took it really, really nice. I'm going to use that in my little project that we're going to make here, and let me know which one is your favorite. If you like the cellophane clear tape better, or if you like the medical tape. I think they both give really dreamy results. And I'm going to leave you so that you can watch the process of me making a tag with some of the tape. And I cannot wait to hear what you have to say about this tape. I hope that it is a helpful video. And again, if you enjoyed it, please consider giving it a thumbs up and sharing it with anyone you think might enjoy it. Thank you so much again for being here and for hanging out with me. I love you guys so much. And again, a huge thank you to my Patreons. I love you guys. Thank you for all of your support. And if you want to know a little more about becoming a Patreon, look in the description down below. Until next time, love you. Bye.